the Antikythera Mechanism. In the spring of 1900, a group of sponge divers went inside to get out of a rough storm in the Mediterranean. They went diving for sponges in the water near the small island of Antikythera, between Crete and mainland Greece, after the storm was over. They found a shipwreck by accident that was full of Greek artifacts. This was the start of the first major underwater archaeology project in history.
A gunboat from the Greek navy watched over the divers to keep thieves away. By early 1901, they had found a wide range of wonderful ancient Greek items, including bronze sculptures, fine glassware, jewelry, amphorae, furniture parts, and tableware. One of these was an old scientific calculator called the Antikythera Mechanism that we know of. The mechanism is made up of a main solar gear that is connected to a hand crank and a group of gear trains that control the movement of pointers that show the calendar, the position and phases of the moon, the sun, all the known planets, and the next eclipse. The mechanism was inside a wooden box with bronze panels that were clearly an important part of how the device worked. There was what looked like a user's guide written on the panels on the back door. These days, the Antikythera is made up of the 82 pieces that have been found on the shipwreck and the seafloor. Of these, 23 are clearly written on. The pieces were found around 70 BCE because they were found with coins from Pergamum and Ephesus that were found at the same time. This remarkable 2,000-year-old tool has transformed our understanding of the scientific knowledge and workmanship of the ancient Greeks. Believed to originate from approximately 100 BC, this intricate device is speculated to have been utilized for making astronomical forecasts. However, its high level of complexity implies the presence of advanced technology during that era. Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript is the most mysterious book in the world. The manuscript was written in an unknown script by an unknown author. Its purpose is still unclear, just like it was when it was found again in 1912 by Wilfrid Voynich, a rare book stealer. The manuscript has been in many places in history, from the library of Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II to a secret sale of books in Rome in 1903 by the Society of Jesus. The language in the book has not been figured out, and the detailed pictures are still as beautiful as they are confusing. Aside from the hard-to-read writing, there were strange, prehistoric-looking plants with leaves in dreamy geometries, huge pages that could be folded out to show rosettes, zodiac signs, stars, and the universe, and what looked like lists of medical formulas, next to drawings of herbs and skinny bottles. The groups of naked women stood out the most. They stood in green pools fed by pipes that looked like fallopian tubes and stars that were tied to strings like balloons. With their arms stretched out, many of the women looked less like they were bathing and more like they were working, like plumbers, in an ancient water system. No one knows for sure where or when the manuscript was written, but a lot of research suggests that it was made in Central Europe, and radiocarbon dating has put its date of creation in the early 1400s. Piri Reis's world map. The Piri Reis map, which was compiled in 1513, is one of the oldest world maps made after Columbus. The map was made on gazelle skin by Piri Reis, an Ottoman Turkish admiral and cartographer. It was found in the Topkapi Palace Library in 1929. Piri Reis's world map is in the Portuguese style and was made at a time when it was almost technically impossible to place newly discovered places on a map. Piri Reis was able to make a detailed and mostly accurate map of the coastlines and islands of the newly discovered parts of the world. He also made a circular map with a made-up center that had a lot of different illustrations. Also, this map is the first record of Columbus's ocean voyages on paper. It is one of the earliest works to show Terra Australis and the first to show its unique animals. Based on a handwritten note discovered alongside the ancient document, it is stated that Piri Reis created it by utilizing various other maps and charts as his main references. The collection consisted of 8 Ptolemaic maps, 4 Portuguese maps, 1 Arabic map, and 1 map created by Christopher Columbus. Since its discovery, the map has attracted considerable attention due to its other peculiar characteristics. One notable occurrence is the emergence of a landmass that certain individuals recognize as Antarctica. If this is indeed the case, it implies that Reis had already charted it approximately 300 years prior to its official discovery. Furthermore, if the depicted continent is indeed the southern one, it is alarming that it is portrayed as devoid of ice, which has not been the situation for more than 6,000 years. If you're looking for a stunning, intriguing, and mystifying map from the age of discovery, look no further than the Piri Reis map from 1513. It was a remarkable and momentous time in cartography and geographical exploration, but this map is among the least understood of them. London Hammer. Near London, Texas, in Kimball County, was discovered the London artifact. The location can be found within the expansive Edwards Plateau. Rock from the Cretaceous period makes up the bulk of it. Max Hahn found a loose rock outside of London, Texas, in June of 1934, resting on a ledge next to a waterfall. The hammerhead was finally brought out of its shady hiding place when he and his relatives used a hammer and chisel to break open the weathered rock that had wood protruding from it. One of the beveled sides was filed down to confirm the hammer's metal construction. The nick that formed revealed bright, shiny iron. No corrosion has eaten away at the shiny metal that was in the nick. With a nominal diameter of 1 inch and a length of about 6 inches, this metal hammerhead is quite large. Given its size, this tool appears to have been designed for delicate work or working with soft metal, rather than coarse pounding. It looks like the handle was broken off and then worn smooth, where it stuck out from the rock concretion. Based on its age, the hammer may be millions of years old, making it an ancestor of all human tools, though some consider it a possible hoax or misinterpretation. Shroud of Turin. A linen cloth depicting a crucified man, the Shroud of Turin dates back centuries, one who countless people take to be the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Since 1578, it has been kept in the Royal Chapel of Turin, Italy's Cathedral of San Giovanni Battista. With dimensions of 4.3 meters in length and 1.1 meters in width, it appears to depict two dim brownish images, one of a gaunt, sunken-eyed man standing at 5 feet 7 inches, and the other of his front. It's as if a body had been draped lengthwise along one side of the shroud, and the other half had been folded over him to cover his entire front from head to toe. The markings are believed to be Jesus' crucifixion wounds, such as thorn marks on his head, lacerations like whippings on his back, bruises on his shoulders, and different stains of what are believed to be blood. The Stations of the Cross portray a cloth that was marked with Christ's face as he walked to Golgotha. This is different from the Shroud of Turin. Is it the actual fabric that enveloped his corpse on crucifixion? Or is it an elaborate fabrication by a skilled artist in the Middle Ages? Researchers in the modern era have poured hundreds of thousands of hours into studying the shroud in great detail. We know more about it now than in any other era because it has been the object of more research than any other artifact in human history. Despite this, the debate continues. Baghdad Battery. The Baghdad Battery, also referred to as the Parthian Battery, is an archaeological object believed to be a primitive form of a battery. From the Parthian period, about 250 BCE to CE 250, the Baghdad Battery is thought to be around 2,000 years old. The jar, which has a clay body and an asphalt stopper, was unearthed in Kujut Rabu, not far from Baghdad. An iron rod encircled by a copper cylinder protrudes through the asphalt. The jar generates approximately 1.1 volts when it is filled with vinegar or any other electrolytic solution. The most educated guess is that the jar served as a sort of battery, though no documentation exists to confirm this. Electroplating, the process of applying a layer of one metal, gold, onto the surface of another, silver, is a technique that is still used today in Iraq, and scientists believe the batteries were used for this purpose. The Baghdad Battery is still a hotly debated subject in the archaeological community, as many in the academic establishment are skeptical of its authenticity and think it may be more of a commonplace artifact than a genuine ancient electrical device. Although most people think of it as a storage device or something used for electricity, some people who study ancient mysteries or who believe in alternative histories find its mysterious nature fascinating and have speculated that it could be used for electroplating, or as a primitive electrical device. Even though experts refer to it as a battery, its true origin and purpose remain unclear. Koso artifact. The Koso artifact is classified as an out-of-place artifact, and its discoverers claim that it is a spark plug trapped inside a geode. Out-of-place artifacts refer to contemporary objects found in unexpected locations, suggesting the possibility that advanced technology existed in the past, predating its modern invention by humans. Wallace Lane, Virginia Maxey, and Mike Mikesell were searching for fascinating mineral specimens on February 13, 1961. Their particular focus was on geodes. Inside the cut nodule, Mikesell found a perfectly circular fragment of a very hard, white material that bore a resemblance to porcelain, rather than the typical hollow interior of a geode. The porcelain cylinder contains a centrally positioned 2 mm shaft made of gleaming metal. According to the National Center for Science Education, the metal shaft exhibited a response due to the influence of a magnet. The surface of the item was adorned with fragments of petrified shells. In addition to shells, there are two non-magnetic metallic objects in the crust, such as a washer and a nail. Furthermore, the inner layer exhibited a hexagonal shape and seemed to encircle the rigid porcelain cylinder. The porcelain cylinder was surrounded by a decaying copper layer within the innermost layer. Since the artifact's initial discovery, many individuals have engaged in speculation regarding its enigmatic origin and potential purpose. Critics frequently point out that creationists have not provided any original research or evidence that would challenge the prevailing scientific understanding of human origins. Phaistos Disc. The Phaistos Disc is composed of kiln-fired clay and has a diameter of approximately 15 centimeters. The artifact was discovered on July 3, 1908, while excavating the Minoan Palace of Phaistos, located near the southern coast of Crete. Italian archaeologists, under the direction of Luigi Pernier, carried out the excavations. Nevertheless, Luigi Pernier was absent from the site at the time of the clay disc's discovery. The disc is renowned as one of the most notable discoveries from the Bronze Age and remains an enigma in the field of Mediterranean archaeology. The composition consists of more than 240 human, animal, and plant motifs that were meticulously printed using separate stamps and arranged in a spiral pattern. The advanced manufacturing technology, which utilizes movable type, stands in stark contrast to the exceptional nature of the discovery. The utilization of reusable stamps is only logical when employed multiple times or on a regular basis. Almost every aspect related to the disc is a subject of controversy, including the orientation of the writing and the language employed. Scholars have strong disagreements about what the symbols mean, both in terms of what they literally mean and what language. At the moment, all writing systems that are known fall into one of three groups: alphabets, pictographies, and syllabaries. Many people think that the disc's symbols are neither too few nor too many for it to be a pure pictographic system or an alphabet. So, a syllabary is the most likely choice. Each symbol stands for a syllable, and each group of symbols is a word. In fact, this is how the later Mycenaean Linear B worked. Without evidence, the disc's text has been interpreted as a hymn to the earth goddess, a court list, an index of religious centers, a greeting, a fertility ritual, and musical notes. The Phaistos disc will remain a mystery that hints at, but does not reveal, a lost language unless other discs are found to give linguists more text to study, or archaeologists find a Rosetta Stone. Rongorongo Scripture. Rongorongo Scripture, also known as Kohau Rongorongo, is a system of writing that involves the carving of glyphs onto wooden or tablet surfaces. Despite extensive efforts, these glyphs have not been successfully deciphered. Oral tradition states that Ariki Hotu Matua, the initial ruler to reach Easter Island, possessed 67 tablets that aligned with the 67 Maori wisdom, encompassing skills in navigation and astronomy. Nevertheless, no other similar form of writing has been discovered in any other Polynesian region. Some scholars argue that the Rongorongo script was created following the arrival of the Spaniards in 1770, as evidenced by their request for the Ariki to sign the contract for the island's allocation. This marks the initial encounter between the Rapa Nui people and Western religious texts. The investigation into the potential transinsular origins of the script yielded no evidence to support the theory that the script originated externally. Simultaneously, the iconography of Rongorongo signs closely corresponds to the Rapa Nui petroglyphs, serving as evidence for the development of the script on Easter Island. Despite various speculative theories regarding its origin, the enigmatic significance of the Rongorongo script will probably persist as an unsolved puzzle for an extended period. Regrettably, there exist merely 27 authentic artifacts adorned with Rongorongo inscriptions, and they are dispersed among various museums across the globe. There are no remaining original artifacts on Easter Island. Regrettably, the Rongorongo Scripture tablets, which were exchanged or sold between Europeans and the islanders, were deliberately destroyed by the missionaries. The missionaries viewed these tablets as satanic, believing that they induced peculiar mental and spiritual conditions and contained spiritual messages that contradicted their efforts to spread their religious beliefs. The Beale Ciphers. The Beale Ciphers named after Thomas Jefferson Beale, an individual who purportedly concealed a valuable cache in Virginia during the early 19th century. It consists of 3 encrypted messages, with one of them supposedly revealing the precise whereabouts of a hidden treasure containing gold, silver, and jewels. The text consists of 3 ciphertexts. The first one, which remains unsolved, provides information about the location of the treasure. The second ciphertext, which has been solved, describes the contents of the treasure. The third ciphertext, also unsolved, contains a list of the names of the treasure's owners and their closest relatives. The narrative of the 3 ciphertexts can be traced back to an 1885 pamphlet titled The Beale Papers. This pamphlet provides a comprehensive account of a man named Thomas J. Beale, who concealed a treasure in a clandestine spot in Bedford County, Virginia, around the year 1820. Beale consigned a box containing the encoded messages to a nearby innkeeper named Robert Morris, and subsequently vanished, never to be observed again. As per the narrative, the innkeeper unlocked the box after a span of 23 years, and subsequently, many years later, he handed over the 3 encrypted ciphertexts to a companion prior to his demise. Subsequently, the companion dedicated the ensuing 2 decades of his existence to deciphering the messages, managing to unravel just a solitary one. This particular message disclosed specific information regarding the hidden treasure as well as its approximate whereabouts. Subsequently, the unidentified acquaintance released the 3 encrypted messages in a brochure that was marketed for purchase during the 1880s. The Beale cipher remained unsolved for a significant duration, as numerous cryptanalysts endeavored to decrypt it. The Beale ciphers continue to captivate codebreakers and treasure hunters.
Like and subscribe for more awesome videos like this.